I'm Susanna Kraus, and I'm standing in front of the Imago1. This is simply the only going-in camera which makes one-by-one photography in the world, we think, with a real optic, not the pinhole cameras. They exist much more bigger, but with a real optic. And this camera is a self-portrait camera. You only can make portraits. You go in and make your own self-portrait. You have a mirror in front of you, which is your photographer. It is a mirror which is not, which is side right mirror. You see yourself as never you see yourself, like the other people see you. And this camera, and then you can make your own portrait. And it runs with a direct positive paper. This is a special technique I worked on 3 years to bring it back to the market. This paper existed in the 70s, in the 60s and 70s, and you can make a one direct positive without negative. So every picture you make in here is a unikat. My father, it is Werner Kraus, a physicist, and an artist, Erhard Hössle. They developed this camera in the beginning of 70s, and they needed 2 years to make this great building and with the technique. And after it runs for about 10 years, very successful on big exhibitions, and then it's going to sleep because the paper doesn't exist anymore. And 30 years later I worked on, and now I realized that the paper is here, and now the camera works again. And now I make exhibitions, and camera is here now in ZKM, but it's very, very good for us in the context with all the multimedia things, and it is really polarization of art here, because it's all art where you do something, where you're doing something. And so here you are going to be a part of yourself, the artist. If you make your own portrait, you have to be active, not passive. You're not only consumer, you're a user. And this is, I think, also why Professor Weibel invited this camera, and yeah.
Die Großbildkamera Anfang der 70er Jahre. Das Geheimnis der Kamera steckt im Objektiv. Es empfindet die Unvollkommenheit des menschlichen Auges nach, das nur begrenzte Bildausschnitte scharf sehen kann.
Es gibt dieses Papier, die sind direkt positiv. Das heißt, es blitzt, das Licht schießt nach vorne, hier diese Optik, die hier vorne hängt. Also da ist ein Spielspinne. Der Spiegel reflektiert das Licht, projiziert das Bild in die Kamera nebenan. Da ist eine Wand montiert, und auf dieser Wand befindet sich dieses direkt positive Papier. Und darauf
also, hier kann man nichts dazu.